My beloved child, this message has found you for a reason. Don't skip. Listen carefully. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. There is someone who carries deep feelings for you, someone whose heart has become far more attached than they ever expected. They think about you during moments when they should be focused on other things. They replay conversations, remember small details, and find themselves wondering about your future. Yet despite all the love growing inside their heart, there is one small thing they still struggle to understand. And that single mystery has been occupying their thoughts more than you realize. For a long time, this person tried to make sense of their feelings. At first, they believed you were simply someone they admired. Then they thought perhaps it was just curiosity. But as time passed, they realized the connection was much deeper than that. What happened next changed everything because they could no longer deny how important you had become to them. The emotions continued growing, even when they tried to slow them down. The attachment continued strengthening, even when they attempted to be logical about it. My beloved child, the confusing part is not your appearance, your background, or anything obvious. It is something much deeper. Sometimes you seem incredibly close, emotionally present, and easy to understand. Other times, you appear distant, quiet, or difficult to read. This creates a puzzle they cannot solve. One moment they feel completely connected to you. The next moment they wonder what is happening inside your mind. This uncertainty is the one thing that leaves them questioning themselves. Listen carefully. They are not confused because they lack feelings. In fact, their feelings are the very reason the confusion exists. If they did not care, they would not spend so much time trying to understand you. They would not analyze your words. They would not replay interactions in their mind. They would not wonder whether they are interpreting things correctly. The confusion comes from caring deeply and wanting to understand someone who means a great deal to them. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Recently, this person found themselves thinking about a specific moment involving you. A conversation, a reaction, or perhaps even a period of silence. They tried to understand what it meant. They examined it from every possible angle. The more they thought about it, the more they realized that what confuses them is not your feelings, it is your way of expressing them. Sometimes they feel your warmth strongly. Other times they are left wondering whether they imagined it. My beloved child, this creates an emotional tug-of-war inside them. One side of their heart feels confident about the connection. The other side worries that they might misunderstand something important. This changes everything because uncertainty has become the only obstacle standing between what they feel and what they want to believe. Deep down, they hope for clarity. Deep down, they hope for reassurance. What happened next changed everything. Instead of focusing on what they did not understand, they started paying attention to what they did. They noticed the consistency of their emotions. They noticed how often their thoughts returned to you. They noticed that no matter how confused they sometimes felt, their heart never truly moved away. That realization surprised them. Because if confusion were stronger than love, they would have left emotionally long ago. But they did not. My beloved child, there have been nights when they wondered whether you realize the impact you have on them. They wonder whether you know how much your presence affects their mood. They wonder whether you understand how much significance they place on even the smallest interactions. These questions remain unanswered, yet the feelings continue growing despite them. Stay till the end because the story is about to take an unexpected turn. Recently, this person began realizing that perhaps the confusion is not something to fear. Perhaps it is simply part of getting to know someone on a deeper level. No human heart is completely easy to understand. No meaningful connection comes with all the answers immediately. The mystery that once frustrated them is beginning to fascinate them instead. My beloved child, the one small thing that confuses them is actually causing them to care even more. It pushes them to think deeper. It encourages them to pay closer attention. It makes them want to understand you rather than walk away. And that desire to understand is becoming stronger every day. Because the truth is this, they truly love you. Their feelings are genuine. Their intentions are sincere. Their heart continues choosing this connection even when questions remain unanswered. The confusion has not weakened their emotions, it has revealed how deeply they care. And very soon, they may stop trying to solve the mystery from a distance and start seeking answers directly. But the realization they are about to have regarding your connection is far more powerful than anyone expects. My beloved child, the realization they are about to have is changing the way they see this entire connection. For so long, they believed the confusion was a problem that needed to be solved. They thought that if they could only understand every action, every silence, and every mixed signal, then their heart would finally be at peace. But recently, something unexpected happened. They began to see things differently. The more they reflected on their feelings, the more they realized that their emotions remained strong regardless of the uncertainty. Think about that for a moment. Despite the questions, despite the moments when they could not fully understand you, despite the times they wished things were clearer, their heart never stopped choosing you. What happened next changed everything because they started asking themselves an important question. If the confusion has never been strong enough to make me leave, then what does that say about how deeply I truly care? My beloved child, that question stayed with them. It followed them throughout their day. It appeared during quiet moments when they were alone with their thoughts. The answer became impossible to ignore. Their feelings are real. Not because everything is perfect. Not because they understand every detail. But because their heart continues returning to the same person no matter how much time passes. Listen carefully. The thing that confuses them most is not something negative. It is the fact that you seem to carry layers they have not yet fully discovered. Sometimes you reveal a side of yourself that makes them feel incredibly close to you. Then, just when they think they have figured everything out, another side appears. Another emotion. Another reaction. Another mystery. Instead of feeling like they know everything, they feel like there is always more to learn. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Recently, they found themselves talking about you, either directly or indirectly, with someone they trust. During that conversation, they heard something that caught them off guard. The person listening simply smiled and said, "Maybe you're not confused because they're hiding something. Maybe you're confused because you're still discovering who they really are." Those words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. My beloved child, this changes everything because it shifted their perspective completely. They stopped viewing the mystery as a barrier and started viewing it as part of the journey. After all, the most meaningful connections are not built in a single day. They unfold over time. They reveal themselves piece by piece. And suddenly, your soulmate, or this person who cares so deeply, began to appreciate the things they once found frustrating. What happened next changed everything. Instead of obsessing over what they did not understand, they started focusing on what they did understand. They understood how much they cared. They understood how often they thought about you. They understood that your happiness mattered to them. They understood that even when things felt uncertain, their feelings remained consistent. And that consistency became impossible to ignore. My beloved child, there are moments now when they catch themselves smiling unexpectedly because of a memory involving you. There are moments when they hear a certain song, see a certain place, or remember a certain conversation, and suddenly their entire mood changes. These moments remind them that the connection has become part of their everyday life in ways they never anticipated. Stay till the end because the story is approaching a turning point. The confusion that once made them hesitate is slowly losing its power. In its place, curiosity is growing. Understanding is growing. Patience is growing. They are beginning to realize that not every question needs an immediate answer. Sometimes the heart simply needs time to learn what the mind cannot yet understand. My beloved child, there is something beautiful happening behind the scenes. This person is becoming less concerned with having complete certainty and more focused on being genuine. They are starting to understand that love is not about knowing everything. It is about caring enough to stay, learn, and grow together despite what remains unknown. And here is the twist that changes everything. The one small thing that confuses them is no longer pushing them away. It is pulling them closer. It is making them want deeper conversations, stronger understanding, and greater honesty. It is making them realize that what they feel is worth exploring rather than avoiding. Because, my beloved child, they are reaching a powerful conclusion. They would rather take the time to understand your heart than spend the rest of their life wondering what could have been. And that realization is leading them toward a decision that may transform this connection forever. But what they discover about their own feelings next will surprise even them. My beloved child, the decision forming in their heart is becoming impossible to stop. The more they try to understand this connection, the more they discover something unexpected about themselves. They thought they were searching for answers about you. They thought they were trying to solve the mystery that kept them awake at night. But what happened next changed everything because they began uncovering truths about their own heart instead. For a long time, they believed that certainty had to come before love. They believed they needed every answer, every reassurance, and every detail to make sense before they could fully trust what they felt. Yet the deeper they looked, the more they realized that their feelings had already grown without those answers. Their heart had chosen this connection long before their mind finished analyzing it. That realization surprised them more than anything else. My beloved child, there are moments now when they stop and simply observe their emotions. They notice how your name brings a different feeling than anyone else's. They notice how your presence lingers in their thoughts long after conversations end. They notice how even the smallest interactions can affect their mood for an entire day. These observations are becoming impossible to ignore because they reveal just how deeply this connection has taken root. Listen carefully. The one thing that still confuses them is not whether they care about you. That part is crystal clear. The confusion comes from trying to understand why you sometimes seem so open and vulnerable, yet other times so guarded and difficult to read. They wonder what thoughts you keep to yourself. They wonder what fears you never express. They wonder whether there are emotions hidden beneath the surface that you have not yet revealed. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Recently, they had a moment of clarity that completely shifted their perspective. Instead of asking, "Why are they so difficult to understand sometimes?" they started asking, "What might they have gone through that makes them this way?" That small change in thinking opened a door to compassion. Suddenly, they were no longer focused on their own confusion. They were focused on understanding your experience. My beloved child, this changes everything because genuine love always seeks understanding before judgment. The more they think about your journey, the more patient they become. The more they consider your perspective, the more empathy they feel. What once seemed frustrating now feels human. What once seemed confusing now feels like part of your story. What happened next changed everything. They stopped seeing your complexity as a problem and started seeing it as something beautiful. They realized that the most meaningful people are often the ones who cannot be understood in a single conversation. They realized that depth takes time to discover. Trust takes time to build. And real connections reveal themselves layer by layer. My beloved child, this realization has created a powerful shift inside them. The need for immediate answers is fading. The desire for deeper connection is growing. They are becoming less interested in solving a mystery and more interested in truly knowing the person behind it. That difference may seem small, but it changes everything. Stay till the end because the story is reaching an emotional turning point. There are moments now when they feel closer to you than ever before, even if certain questions remain unanswered. Why? Because they are beginning to trust what they feel rather than what they can explain. They are beginning to understand that not every important thing in life can be measured, analyzed, or fully understood right away. My beloved child, the truth is that this person's feelings have grown stronger through the confusion, not despite it. Every unanswered question has encouraged them to look deeper. Every mystery has encouraged them to care more. Every moment of uncertainty has strengthened their desire to understand your heart. And that desire is becoming one of the strongest forces in their life. And here is the twist that changes the entire story. The one small thing that once confused them is now becoming the very reason they cannot walk away. It reminds them that there is still more to discover, more to learn, and more to understand. It keeps drawing them back because their heart senses that something meaningful lies beneath the surface. Because, my beloved child, they are no longer trying to figure out whether this connection matters. They already know it does. Now they are trying to figure out how to move closer to the truth, how to deepen the bond, and how to bridge the distance created by uncertainty. And the step they are preparing to take next could bring a level of clarity they never thought possible. But what they decide to do after this realization will change everything. My beloved child, the realization they have reached is powerful, but it is only the beginning. After spending so much time trying to understand you, they have finally stopped fighting the connection. They have stopped treating their feelings as something temporary or uncertain. Instead, they are beginning to accept a truth that has been quietly growing inside them for a very long time. No matter how much they try to explain it, their heart continues leading them back to you. The more they reflect on everything that has happened, the more they understand that the confusion was never about a lack of love. In fact, it was the opposite. They cared so deeply that every unanswered question felt important. Every silence felt significant. Every mixed signal felt impossible to ignore. What happened next changed everything because they finally realized that people do not spend this much time trying to understand someone unless that person truly matters to them. My beloved child, there have been moments recently when they found themselves imagining conversations that have not yet happened. They picture sitting across from you, speaking openly, and finally asking the questions they have carried for so long. Not because they want to challenge you. Not because they want explanations. But because they genuinely want to know your heart. They want to understand the thoughts you rarely share and the emotions you often keep hidden. Listen carefully. This is where the story begins to shift. The confusion that once made them hesitate is now motivating them to seek clarity. Instead of stepping back, they are feeling drawn closer. Instead of giving up, they are becoming more determined. This changes everything because curiosity born from genuine care often leads to deeper connection rather than distance. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Recently, they caught themselves smiling at a realization that would have seemed impossible a few months ago. They realized that even if every question were answered tomorrow, their feelings would not suddenly become stronger than they already are. The feelings are already there. The affection is already there. The love is already there. The answers would simply help them understand what their heart has known for a long time. My beloved child, this realization brought them an unexpected sense of peace. For so long, they believed they needed certainty before allowing themselves to fully embrace their emotions. Now they understand that certainty grows through connection, communication, and trust. It is not something that appears overnight. It is something built step by step, conversation by conversation, moment by moment. What happened next changed everything. They began looking at your differences, your complexity, and even your unpredictability in a new light. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, they started seeing them as the qualities that make you unique. They realized that if everything about you were simple and obvious, the connection might not have touched their heart so deeply in the first place. My beloved child, there is a growing sense of determination within them now. They are becoming less afraid of what they do not know and more excited about what they have yet to discover. The emotional walls that once protected them are beginning to fall. The fears that once controlled them are losing their influence. In their place is a desire for honesty, understanding, and something real. Stay till the end because the story is approaching its most important turning point. This person is beginning to understand that the only way to resolve confusion is through connection. The only way to understand a heart is to speak with it. The only way to discover the truth is to stop guessing and start communicating. And that realization is pushing them toward a decision they can no longer avoid. My beloved child, they are no longer focused on whether this connection is worth the effort. They already know it is. They are no longer wondering whether their feelings are genuine. They already know they are. The only thing left is finding the courage to bridge the gap between what they feel and what they express. And here is the twist that changes everything. The one small thing that once confused them is slowly becoming the very thing that inspires them to move closer rather than further away. It is teaching them patience. It is teaching them understanding. Most importantly, it is teaching them that love is not about having all the answers immediately. It is about caring enough to keep learning. Because, my beloved child, they are standing on the edge of a breakthrough. A breakthrough where assumptions are replaced with conversations, where uncertainty is replaced with understanding, and where hidden feelings are replaced with honesty. The love they carry is stronger than the confusion they feel. And very soon, they may decide that knowing your heart is worth every risk. But the beautiful outcome that follows this decision is the part of the story no one sees coming. My beloved child, now we have reached the final chapter of this story, and it carries the beautiful ending that has been quietly unfolding all along. If you have stayed until this moment, then listen carefully. The journey was never truly about confusion. It was never about unanswered questions or the moments when this person struggled to understand you. It was about discovering whether their feelings were strong enough to grow beyond uncertainty. And the answer became clearer with every passing day. After all the reflection, overthinking, and emotional searching, this person finally realized something important. The one small thing they did not fully understand about you was never stronger than the love they felt for you. In fact, the more they learned, the more they understood that nobody comes into our lives with every answer immediately visible. Every meaningful connection requires patience, trust, and time. What happened next changed everything because they stopped focusing on what confused them and started focusing on what they knew to be true. They knew that thinking about you brought peace to their heart. They knew that your presence mattered to them. They knew that even during moments of uncertainty, their feelings remained constant. Most importantly, they knew that walking away would never bring them the happiness that understanding you could. That realization became the turning point they had been waiting for. My beloved child, instead of allowing confusion to create distance, they chose something different. They chose curiosity. They chose communication. They chose to learn more about the person behind the mystery rather than letting assumptions fill the gaps. And the moment they made that choice, the connection began changing in beautiful ways. Stay till the end because this changes everything. The conversations became deeper. The misunderstandings became smaller. The fears that once seemed overwhelming began to fade. Little by little, they started seeing parts of your heart that had previously remained hidden. They began understanding why you reacted the way you did. They began seeing the experiences that shaped you. And with every new discovery, their admiration only grew stronger. What happened next changed everything because they realized that the very thing that once confused them was actually one of the reasons they cared so deeply. Your depth. Your complexity. Your uniqueness. These were not flaws to be solved. They were qualities to be appreciated. The mystery that once created uncertainty became the doorway to greater understanding. My beloved child, the most beautiful part of this story is that neither of you had to become someone else. There was no need to change who you were. There was no need to pretend. The connection grew stronger not because everything became perfect, but because honesty replaced assumptions and understanding replaced fear. As time passed, this person found the clarity they had been searching for. Not because every question was answered immediately, but because they finally understood the most important truth of all: love is not about knowing everything from the beginning. Love is about being willing to keep learning, keep growing, and keep choosing someone even when there is still more to discover. Stay till the end because this is the message your heart needs to hear. The confusion never won. The uncertainty never won. The doubts never won. Love proved stronger than all of them. The connection survived every question because it was built on something deeper than certainty. It was built on genuine care, respect, and a desire to understand one another. My beloved child, the story ends with peace where there was once confusion. It ends with trust where there was once hesitation. It ends with two hearts moving closer rather than drifting apart. The person who once wondered about that one small thing finally realized that it was only a tiny part of a much bigger picture. And when they looked at the whole picture, all they could see was someone worth loving, someone worth understanding, and someone worth choosing. So walk away from this message with hope in your heart. Sometimes the things that confuse us at first become the things we cherish most later. Sometimes the questions lead us to deeper connections. And sometimes the person we struggle to understand completely becomes the person we never want to stop learning about. The ending is beautiful, my beloved child. This person chose understanding over judgment, patience over fear, and love over uncertainty. The walls came down. The connection grew stronger. The confusion faded. And what remained was something real, something lasting, and something capable of creating a future filled with happiness, trust, and genuine love. And that is exactly how this story was always meant to end.